You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner, yeah. 'Cause I'm the winner, yes. Am I awake or am I dreaming? So far gone, I won't look back. And when I move, there ain't no stopping me. You're pushing me up to the top. I saw the clouds looking angry, but then the sky reached my mind.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. It is the Plan to Prosper podcast show. I'm your host, Sharon Campbell, and it is an honor and a privilege to be here today. We have an exciting talk for you today. I've been preparing for it all day, since yesterday, and I think all my life I have prepared for this show because when I thought about it, I thought about my lifespan and so much work that we have done in this show, in this space for this show for this time. And so let me tell you something about myself. I have been in business for over 15 plus years, working with business owners and entrepreneurs, nonprofits, the faith-based community, the 9 to 5, the dreamers and the hustlers. And I started this journey because I believe there was a gap. And during my lifetime, I've noticed that this new era, what people are talking about, is DEI. And I have been studying it for so long. Even when I was in college, when I was working in different companies and government, you always knew that there was so much gaps in equality and equity and inclusion, diversity, and then as well as advocacy. And so being a long study of looking at it over a span of time and just documenting some things and seeing what is going on over the last couple of years, bringing this DEI to the front. And the more and more I looked at it, I kept saying, really, this is a good start, but it has become such of a buzzword. A buzzword. It's just like whenever people have changed the word from black to start to say minorities, not owning what it's supposed to really is meant, not being comfortable for calling out what it represents. And so tonight, and I think this whole month, we're going to be talking about this because this is so very important. We have to move away from buzzwords to make you feel good. Oh, we're going to start a DEI program. No, DEI program. Oh, no, DEI program. And it's like it's something new, right? We're going to make something right, but we have created something That's a buzzword. We haven't really looked at it from a different perspective. And I know everyone have their own perspective. And I'm always open to the fact that you can disagree with a person. And if you don't like their opinion, it's just like you don't have to turn on the channel of the TV. If you don't like that show, you don't watch that show. Um, it's just like choosing, if you don't want to shop at that store, you don't go to that store and shop. If you don't like that brand of toothpaste, you don't buy that brand of toothpaste. So I commend people for bringing the awareness because it has opened up the door to look at things different. And different is good. Change can be good and bad depending if it's going to disenfranchise another group of people. And so with my journey, I look at DEI as a starting point. And we didn't do enough of research to say, wait a minute, maybe we need to label this something else or call it something else or give different versions of it because it does not help whenever it continues keeping a group of people down. And now the DEI program is about how it's supposed to directly help Black women. But it really doesn't. What you have is a way of checking the box. And some other programs they do is great. I'm not going to say all of them is bad. But I just want you to take the time tonight to just sit back and hear another viewpoint. And if you agree, great. If you're like, I need to hear some more about that, fantastic. If this doesn't resonate with you, change the channel on this. But there's some people that just waiting to hear this. And see, our model is about ideal. And it's more than just ideal. We talk about inclusion first, diversity second, equality and equity must go together. You can't separate the two because once you do, you water down your results. And then we talk about advocacy. So our model is ideal to the second power, which is E2A. So let's first start with some little education. I'm try to come over here and for us to talk about what is the DI. DI is supposed to stand for. They say it is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I say, well, where's equality? Because it's falling short of what it's supposed to mean. And so you have this model where it's supposed to be one size fit all. Well, it doesn't because we as Black women experiences is different than other people's experiences. And then when we call it out for what it is, we get all of this backflash. You're not getting along. You're not playing fair. You're not working hard. You're not doing that. We can find all the negative words. Sometimes I wonder, do people spend time just Googling negative words and say, oh, let's use all of these against this group or race of people. And see, whenever you talk about DEI, they talk about diversity first. But our approach is, how do you talk about diversity first if you have not included us in the conversation to define what diversity really is? It's like you want to make a cake, but you start off with putting the ingredients in So is there a way to make a cake? Yes. You can read on the box. They give you clear instructions what you need to do. If you haven't made a cake for your grandma, she tells you have to put this in first, you have to put this in second. There's a process. And so how do you do diversity first without including people to come to the table to talk about what this diversity needs to look like? And who needs to be at this table? And is it one model fits all? And the answer is no. If you think about also is how drugs are made. Drugs in the pharmaceutical, some of them is started out with the same ingredients, but they for something different. They may start off with the same ingredients inside, but one may end up being for cancer pill, the other may end up being for high blood pressure, but they may have some of the same ingredients in it. So what I've said is you got to start including people first before you start building your model. And it has to be where people are sitting down talking about the problem. And you can't spend there all day long sitting there talking about the problem because you never get to the solution. But at least come together with these are some of the things, with data, with research that people experience so we can measure the outcome. And it cannot be, let's check the box. It cannot be, okay, I see what you're saying. I need to hire a diversity coordinator. Yeah, go right. As it must be Black and it must be a woman, or someone's going to say something to me. But what I am going to do is limit her power to do anything. And if she does, it has to be ran by set up the poll so we can tweak it, massage it, because it may not make us look good or make us feel good. Okay? Because we still want to keep a culture of ourselves in there, because we still want to keep a percentage of the wealth to ourselves. So we hire our diversity coordinator. We seek out intentionally so we can check the box to say she must be Black. The person that get hired comes in with all of these bright, brilliant ways because they have experience, they know what it's going to be. They're like, oh wow, we can do this and this, we can bring groups together, we can make change. Bam. Now they present it, and now someone comes up with, well, we have this policy in place and we can't do this. Policies can be changed, adjusted, and mended for the good of what you say you're trying to do. So when you include people, then you have enough diverse ideas and thoughts at the table. You are able now to help shape policy. Now that's where the problem is. It is reshaping policy in a corporation that has written policy already against a group of people. A segment of people they have written policy against. Women, Black women, is one of the fastest growing population that graduates not just from high school, not just from college, but go on to receive their master's, doctors, and have so many different certifications and a subject matter expert in their field. Okay, so they come already overqualified. And so to come to a company that says, we want diversity, We want inclusion, but we only want one E. We don't want equity, along with equality. Then what you're saying is, I can only deal with three of them at a time, letters, words, but cannot. Because if you don't have all of them as a whole, like the cake is not going to be good when it's time to eat it because it's going to be missing ingredients. If you leave the butter out, the oil, or the eggs, it will not rise or taste good. And so that's why the DEI programs struggle, because it's buzzwords with good intentions for some, and not for all, to check the box. So the question I have is, do we want to move away from the buzzword, or do we want to truly engage in truly the meaning of doing what is right? See, you can have all the diversity and inclusion you want, but who is advocating to make sure it is implemented and that the outcome is the outcome that you're looking for? And even if the outcome is not, you have an opportunity to look to see, to find out why. See, the why is so very important. See, we want to find solutions to problems and stop talking about the problem, because everybody knows what the problem is. See, when you continue to talk about the same old problem over and over again, everybody knows what the problem is. But what is the solution to the problem? See, the solution is what makes people uncomfortable to do what is right. See, the solution would say, well, let's treat everybody across the board with equality and equity so that they can move up and receive more contracts, opportunities to do more business, opportunities to build more wealth. Those are the things when we talk about the ideal model, because it takes care of equity, inequality, and advocacy. But the DEI model do not. It only put a band-aid on the issue. And whenever you bring in Black women and put them in these positions, but then you say, but you only can go so far. Sometimes this is a job that they have to feed their family. And so they are stuck with, I got to come, I have to check in, I got to play the role, get along, so I will have income to feed my family, so I can have a job, or for I could be awarded a contract. But if I express that this program is not working, you're not allowing me to do what is best for the people and for the company, because you're going to be uncomfortable. You have checked the box. And you have boxed that person in to say, oh yes, we're going to have this program because I need to say we have it, to check the box. But we're not going to allow you to do so much. Because we don't want to have Black women in powerful positions over white men in corporations leading them. That makes us uncomfortable. And we don't want to be uncomfortable. So we have to talk about racism and be comfortable with it and fix it. Because it's a fixable problem. It's not that we can't fix racism. We can, but we can't eliminate it because you can't eliminate people, but you can't fix stuff. Two different things. Okay, we can fix stuff, but you can't eliminate something 110% because of people put in certain positions that keep people down. And so I just want to just pause, have a quick commercial, and have you think about checking the boxes. That's what you really want to be about. Or do you want to be about ideal? Where you include it. You talk about inclusion, diversity, equality, equity, as well as someone that's going to advocate for you. So let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Thank you so very much for thinking about this during your break. And because we really need to think about it, there is so much misinformation out there. But when you live the diversity part, and inclusion part, and the equity part, and the quality part, and you have done the advocacy part, that's where you really, truly understand what is really happening in the world. And that's when we can have these deep conversations and then move from conversations to solutions. And now when I'm constantly doing research and I'm looking, I see now that it started out that the women was Black that was hard to run their diversity program. Now they're saying, oh, but that's minorities. That's what they're being. So now they're hiring white women to run the programs now. See, we start out with the right intentions or a hidden agenda or another, but then we slide back to our old ways. See, when you are not doing it for the right reason, you check in the box and then you go back to who you really were. And it shows over and over again. But who are you hurting? Will we seek to bring injustice to Black women? Because Black women has been taught to endure a lot. And we are masters at solving problems, bringing solutions, and juggling a lot at one time, especially a lot of crap at one time. The businesses, as well as, in my line of work, I do a lot of coaching and consultants. You miss some of the best tools or people and knowledge that they bring, which Black women bring to the table. And the sad part about it is that you will sacrifice thousands and millions of dollars to keep them down or pay them at a lower wage and not invest and move in your company and be okay with the loss of the bottom line. But the world loses. Not just you, but the world loses so much talent and knowledge. Okay. When you decide that a person colorless skin, even if they have the best solutions to solve problems for you and your company to grow and thrive, or having a Black owned business compete, and you want to lowball the cost to put more in your pocket and less in their pocket because of the color of their skin, you are not being true to what you say when you say you want diversity. What you say and the action of what you do don't line up at all. And so we're going to have some discussion around the pros and the cons on that next week, on the difference of that and how it makes a big difference in your wealth. Not only your wealth as in your bank account, but yourself, who you are. It is, look how much energy it takes to think of ways to hold the Black woman down whenever you need to do that. You got to sit there and plot and plan to do it. And put in all of these options to ensure that that person stay down. You have to sit there and spend a lot of time just doing that. Wow. That is so sad. That use your energy because you don't want someone else to get ahead of you or to shine. And we attend church, and we show up every Sunday and teach Bible study and Sunday school, and sometimes even in the pulpit. But we come back to the job and we mistreat Black women, white men, white women. And when someone talk to you about it, you get offended. But why do you think they brought up DE? Why? It was, if you look at the people that have written about it, there's a lot of us white people have decided to get a book, write what they thought it should be, and say, now go teach it. They version, not the version of a true diversity person. Did they include diverse groups of Black women, Black people when they start looking at diversity? Did they really, really look at that? Now, I have read a lot of books on that, and some of them are right on point. Some things in the book is right on point, not the whole book. And some will say, well, I don't like your model, Sharon, the ideal model. And I'm great to accept that you don't like that. It doesn't work for you, make you uncomfortable. I understand. Because the DEI makes me uncomfortable. Because I'm saying, wait a minute, you didn't do equality and equity together? And who's going to advocate for me? So, and I wasn't included before you came up to say what it needs to look like. You didn't get a inclusion of different people, so you can make sure you got a diverse group of people. So you're going to get a diverse group of people, right? Then you're going to stick the E in there, one, and then you're going to say we're included. the cake in the oven is going to fall. And so we need to continue looking at what is going on. Because now, where we was hiring all these Black women to run the diversity program, now we're hiring more and more white women and saying, hello, it's a minority. As long as a minority is in it, and a white woman is a minority. And okay, y'all. We are all not asleep when you're doing that. We are woke and we see. So you can't start out saying you're trying to do right when you're not being authentic, real, and honest, because you become back to who you are. And in time, that always happens. And so let us start thinking about how we can look at policies around inclusion and diversity and equality and equity and advocacy. So when even when you're in trying to receive a contract, whether you're on your own company, entrepreneurs, or you're working for a corporation, let's see when we look at that, can we change policies when we see that this solution is going to change the landscape for the company to generate the best qualified people for that position, for the opportunity, for the growth of not the country, not the company, but the country. Because the economic engine will help reduce poverty around the world. So we really need to understand how the ecosystem works. And it works with being inclusion first before they talk about diversity. See, if everybody's not included in there, then your system is not diverse. See, think about it. Everything has a reason. The river, the stream, and the ocean also have to play a part in the sea. The water starts in one place, end up somewhere else, filter go there. Now, if you take one of them out and you exclude them, we're gonna have an issue. Okay. Let's think about that. That's why you have to have all the parts working together. Okay. Also, look at it from another point of view: is the climate change. Even if you disagree with climate change, there's something going on and you don't know what it is, but we know it's a something. It's because some things is being taken out. Some things are not being included. Therefore, we have a change. So as we move forward this month, we're going to spend this month really talking about what that needs to look like and how you could get information on it. And Warner written a paper, and I'm gonna put it on my website. And you can go to my website, www.thesharoncampbell.com, and read it about know your value, know your worth, who you are, as it relates to DEI and ideal. Two E's. One time, someone was was attempted to correct me and says, she using the wrong E word. No, it wasn't. I was very clear what I was saying. They have been so programmed or hearing it one way, when someone spoke of it a different way, it was wrong. And then the sad part about it, they didn't come to me. They went to someone else and said, let Sharon know that that's not the right word to use. I'm like, I can change it. It's not owned by anybody. If the population that I'm talking to is comfortable with me changing the word, then it's okay. See, we get so caught up in tradition and what someone believes something should be, but because you have to realize somebody came up with DEI and they told you and they sold it to you and you jump right on it. Yeah. But how about if that person come back and say, you know what? I made a mistake. I was wrong. Research now shows something different. See, you cannot use all of something that's 20 years back and apply it to what's going on today. Sometimes I could say after COVID, you can't use what happened 2 years back and try to apply it today. You know, when you look at programs and opportunity and wealth and racism and sexism and what else would be a good thing for you? Just mistreatment of people. I love that. Just because you are black and you're a woman, I just don't believe you need to have opportunities that I have. And I'm white when I'm male or female, but I'm white. It doesn't matter that you have a PhD, I'm white. When you say that, and really say, and I'm looking at you, and I'm like, well, how did those two things go together? And people get, when you have the conversation with different races at the table, people get uncomfortable facing that. And so I'm like, I got white people in my family. Okay. I can't do anything about that. They're there. Yeah. But can we not have a conversation about the injustice of that? When you look across some campuses, HBCUs, you're seeing more white people attending HBCU campus every year. They apply. You know why? They want to be considered as minorities, so they will pay less money to go to college because where they're trying to go, they can't afford it. Okay, that's it. Bottom line. And so they said, let me use the minority card in order for me to get some education and give me some refund money. I may have to pay it back, but guess what? This is the better deal. I'm here on this university trying to get an education because you provide great education as any WP university can. Because I can't get into them and I can't afford them. So let me take advantage of what I can. Okay. They use the system to their advantage. They talk about, I need you to include me because you're not being diverse enough for equity and equality. And so I'm going to advocate for what I need, which is to attend class, to get this degree so I can go and make the money I need where I need to be at, period. We have to really stop using buzzwords and check the box. And it's a myth that we can change policies and do solutions to help the greater good, to open up more doors for more people and not find ways to keep doors closed because we are uncomfortable, because we didn't go and get that education that the Black woman had, that we didn't press through all of the isms to have the income level, that whenever we are advocating and we're sitting in front of a white person in corporate America with our resume or synopsis so long, and we're negotiating a raise, that they see a Black woman versus an educated person that can take our company to the next level, that is well overqualified to be in this position, that could come in and turn departments around. And we would rather place someone else over her and ask her to do the same work that she is overqualified and the person is underqualified for. And that don't make no sense to me. So I would love to invite anyone on our show that wants to talk about diversity, want to talk about being included, want to talk about equality and equity, want to talk about advocacy. But to come on here, there are some rules and guidelines. This is not a back and forth podcast. This is about information sharing. We can disagree. What we cannot do is be disrespectful to one another. So I would love to hear people's thoughts on it. If you want to learn more about it, the next 4 Tuesdays of this month, 3 Tuesdays this month. This month have a holiday and Mother's Day and graduation day and all these days during this month. I would love to hear from you, because education is power. And having good conversation is what builds wealth, because it opens up opportunities. And that is what it's all about. The Plan to Prosper show is about open up opportunities to build wealth. And having a series on how to address this inclusion, diversity, equality, equity, and advocacy really hurts the wealth building part of our work. But you must include people into conversations to get the best diverse team to help you deal with equity and inclusion, help you deal with equality and equity, and help advocate. Because advocates shouldn't be just all Black people advocating. It should be people advocating. White men, white women, Black men, Black women, Hispanic, Asian. All of us should be advocating for a better world, a better work environment, a better opportunity to give more. See, when we lift up more people, everybody benefits. And so I would like to hear from you to see how we can lift up more people into the wealth economy. Because I think that the United States of America, with all of its isms, we're still in a good place to make a difference. If we come to the table with more openness and less hidden agendas. Now, I want to thank our producer and engineer, Mark Lee. I want to thank the founders of Hard TV for allowing us to be part of their family. The fact that they are able to place us in Roku TV, Amazon Fire, partner. Let's go to YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. It's amazing work. And I commend them for that because it takes what I believe they are doing is including people with different. And I see that I have had an opportunity to be on other streaming networks, but what I have seen from the Part 2 TV family is other opportunities that they provide different people to have different voices and really think about the inclusion process as well, then look at the diversity process, and then they think about equity and inequality, and they think about advocacy. And I think that they do a great job at it. What I have seen for so far, they have really thought through that, whether it was intentionally or not. They have done a fantastic job, and to be, they should be commended for that. Their work, their cannot say too much about Mark dedication, the producer dedication that helped put these shows together. I'm on Tuesday. Pod TV have people on Monday through Sunday at different times. So just reach out to them and go and visit the show at different times and see other people speak and see what you can find out. But our show is dedicated to entrepreneurs, business owners, 9 to 5, our dreamers, our hustlers, our nonprofit, our community organization. So that takes care of everybody out there that want to have a job, that's they're working in corporate America. You part of that because you do 9 to 5 and you want to get more information. And information is valuable. When someone is helping you grow and build your internal portfolio of knowledge, that is a valuable thing. I am Sharon Campbell, your host for the Planet of Prosper Show. I thank you. Thank you, Mark. We'll see you next week on Tuesday. And we're going to be talking about idea, how to include people in this economy. Take care, everyone. Have a very good night.